Today is President's Day, so it seems like the perfect time to share the story of a Gaston County woman who spent 3 decades as a White House staffer for 7 presidents. Queen City News reporter John Lee tells us about her fascinating work history in tonight's Faces of the Carolinas.
Dallas, North Carolina may seem a world away from Washington, D.C., but at Gaston County Museum, an exhibit called Nell Yates, Woman in the Wing, spotlights a local who became a White House staff fixture. Kelly Privet is her great niece.
She wouldn't say a lot to any of us about their affairs.
Her Aunt Nell worked for a staggering 7 presidents from 1953 to 86.
But it started with Eisenhower and went all the way to Reagan. She was the personal assistant. She did not like the word secretary. That's one of my favorite pictures of her hugging him. The tearful farewell of President Ford leaving, and he comforts Aunt Nell.
She was even the subject of a cartoon. Nell was ever present during the Nixon years.
He was the first president to go to China, and Aunt Nell went with him.
In 1972, this photo was taken at a ping pong exhibition in China. Next to the first couple, to the far right, you'll see Yates.
There she is.
Sort of behind Pat Nixon.
Looking for Nell is like a White House version of Where's Waldo. Mrs. Yates was at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue during good times and the worst of times, including the assassination of JFK.
She was at the White House.
Right, and had to arrange for his body to be transported back and arrange the service.
This is the funeral invitation she received. Before Yates died 7 years ago at 93, she donated more than 1,000 items
That one
to the Gaston County Museum.
Photos, paraphernalia, pins, pens, you name it.
And because she was born in Alexis, outside of Dallas, it came here.
And she went on to do great things for some of the most powerful people in the world. And she stayed humble, and she was a family woman, and she was just a force to be reckoned with.
This collection documents 33 years in the West Wing. But loved ones say, as comprehensive as it is, it doesn't begin to tell us about Nell Yates' rich life beyond the White House.
That's great. That's wonderful. That's not the Nell that we know and love and miss so much, because she didn't talk about her days in the White House.
Nell was a gourmet cook and loved gardening and golf. She never had children, but was the greatest aunt ever, inviting Kelly to the White House as a little girl.
You can go on the White House lawn, don't embarrass me.
Her family says the way she worked and lived is a lesson for all of us.
If you would ask her if she was a Republican or a Democrat, she would say, I am what the president is. It was about the president, it wasn't about the politics.
It's possible to serve in government without making that your entire identity and your entire life. She was a wonderful example of public service.
That's why the career Nell Yates didn't care to talk about will forever be a source of family pride. In Dallas, John Lee, Queen City News.